Yo, what's up, Blox Fruit player? If you are new to the game, or even if you have been playing for a while, there's a good chance you have made some new mistakes. Don't worry, we have all been there. Today, I'm going to break down the 10 biggest mistakes people make when starting off in Blox Fruit and how to avoid them. Let's get into it. Alright, guys, so I have made a 10-point list of mistakes that a lot of you guys make starting off. So if you are new, make sure to avoid them at all cost. So here's your 10-point list. So first off is begging for fruits. That in itself is gonna, if you're lucky, you can get lucky and then find yourself someone who can give you a really good fruit. But in all honesty, first mistake is just wasting a ton of time begging for fruit. Listen, asking people for fruit won't get you anywhere. Focus on the grind and you will eventually get the fruit or you want, because begging only wastes your valuable time. At starting off, you only need 10,000 money. If you do normal quests like here, you can easily get enough money to buy yourself a fruit. Like you will just like you'll need some time, need level 40. After that, you'll be all said and done. So the second mistake is eating any high rarity fruit. Mistake number two: eating a high rarity fruit you find just because it's legendary doesn't mean it's good for grinding. Some fruits like Phoenix or Dragon are great for PvP. Don't get me wrong, they are amazing, but terrible for leveling up. Be smart. Use your fruit that helps you with grinding, like light or ice. They are not as rare as Phoenix or Dragon, but they're so much better in grinding that the Phoenix and Dragon are pretty much useless if you want to like grind with those fruit, because they have so much knockbacks, they have set specific range, their ability hit only one target sometime. They have like some passives that are good for PvP and not for PvE. So the third mistake that a lot of you guys make is that they don't wait for perfect fruit. I know, like I was one of those guys. Like if I get that fruit, I will start grinding because then I will know like I can do it. Like I waited up, I wasted a lot of time getting the Buddha. And as a matter of fact, these are the 10 mistakes that I have done. Like I have eaten a legendary fruit like dragon and dough, which they look like they are so rare. Everyone wants them. You'll hear thirsty player begging for them, but they're terrible with grinding. I know, I have been there, so I use them. So don't wait for your perfect fruit. If you don't have a fruit, I would recommend you just grab a Logia. If you can't even find that, you don't need a Logia. Just start grinding with your punches and get another fighting style. Waiting for the start the game until you get a perfect fruit, it's a waste of time. Just grab any Logia. Or maybe if you want, you can just use fighting style. You're good to go with that. That's it. In first C at least. But if you find a Logia, eat it and do not change it whatsoever. Unless you get another better Logia. And by better Logia, there is no better Logia than light or ice. So if you unless you get ice and light, don't change your current Logia. Even if it's magma, don't change it. Even if you have magma rumble, I would say change it to light or ice because it's not good. They are rare, but they're not good for grinding. Maybe for some of you they are. Anyways, the fourth mistake is that learn the map where NPCs are. Okay, So not knowing where the quest NPCs are, this is one of the easy fix. Just take a good look at C map on the starter island. It shows you where all the islands are, including the jungle, where a lot of people drop their fruits, high level players. So like right here, this is your starter island, right? Windmill village. As you can see, there are a lot of windmills, so it is associated with windmills. Now there are levels. It will tell you to go there: level 60, level 30, level 15, and level 90. And marine island starter, whatever this is it marine or is it oh yeah, that's a starter island for marine. As you can see, those guns. So this is where you will start. This is where you will go next, and there, this is your jungle island, so you can go anywhere you want. So after that, but there is another thing that is very important, is that if you take a quest, like right here, it will tell you where to go. And if it, even if you like don't have a quest, let me just quickly finish this quest. It's about the bandit. And if you have like this quest, if you click this, it will tell you what the rewards and exp are, and how the bandit looks like, so it's easy for you to like know which npc you have to fight. So if you are struggling to find your quest, just click this and it will tell you where to go. Like this green compass, this pointy thing will point you toward your quest. So it says find the NPC at Fountain City, because that's the max level quest in this sea. But I'm a, as you can see, max level player. Using these, is avoiding these 10 mistake that I learned from experience. I reached max level. So let's get to the next point, which is the fifth one. Set your spawn at your quest location. Okay, this is very important. Like, I'm glad they added this a feature. Like, if you see this button, press this, it will teleport you to the island you're at. So by at, I mean like where you set your home point. In every island there is an NPC that should say set home point. If you click him, interact with him, then you can accept if you want to put your spawn point here or not. So in my case, I would recommend you to set your point where the quest is, where your quest for these is. So if you have like set there, even if someone accidentally, like high level player, that happens to a lot of you, then you guys are struggling to get back to your place, and you get teleported to somewhere you have never seen before, like say for example snow village, and then you'll be like stuck there forever and you have no idea to go back. But if you have like your home point, you can just press this button and it will teleport you to the near this npc where you have your home point. Or another thing that you can do, which I have done too, is that I set my home point always there, just in case I was grinding in public servers, someone got light fruit or maybe ice fruit and he doesn't want it. He says he will ask, if you're lucky, he will ask if you want it. Then if you have your home point here, which I did, and it did help me out a lot, because some random dude, max level player, will come out and do the gacha and drop fruits here. So they will come out, drop a fruit here. If you have your home point here, you can just quickly press this and reach, be the fastest one to reach there and grab the fruit and get back to the grinding. Another mistake is that people don't waste your like money on these things, like buying a ship, which is like next to nothing, but they end up wasting a lot of money into putting this thing, like getting something from this. It's useless. Don't waste your money. Like ice is 350, that's a waste. You're better off uh, getting a physical fruit rather than buying from this shop starting off, even if you are in second seed, because money is very important in real life and in Blox fruit. You will need it in many ways. Like there are so many side quests, side items, side things that you have to do, that you want to do, and they will require you to have money, a lot of it, like 750 money for you to be able to get this, which is observation hockey, that gives you dodges. And like for a good fighting style like fishman karate, you also need 750 for soul cane, which I don't recommend getting, like swords. Don't get it. In my opinion, don't try to waste your time into buying some swords or getting some swords. Don't even try to get like your other things like other expensive swords. They're useless. Or grind for the drops. Maybe if you get lucky, then use it. Then don't even specifically grind for it because it can waste a lot of time. Okay, another thing is that 6 point non-logia fruits like bomb and spring are just bad for grinding. So logia fruits, non-logia fruits like bomb, spring, that's big mistake. These fruits don't give you immunity and they take away your ability to swim. Stick with logia and trust me. Like if you have spring, you're trying to grind with it. Oh my god, good luck with that. Because all those fruit does is that here, if you swim, they will give you damage. That's their passive ability. That's it. They will not help you out with grinding. What spring does is that if you hit it or bomb, your NPC will scatter if you have gathered them. Like this is very important for you guys to like try to, instead of going one after one, try to gather every single NPC and use an attack that has good range, no knockbacks, and kill every NPC. So use that attack. So the seventh mistake is that store high rarity fruit. Don't force yourselves to eat them. So what do I mean by that? Is that high rarity fruit, instead of eating them, if your current fruit is like better for grinding, for example it's light or it's ice, don't waste time in eating a rare fruit just because it's legendary or a mythical. Store it or trade it instead when you get to C2. Like if you're in the jungle, you will see a lot of player drop some fruits like spider, maybe magma, maybe ghost, or maybe some other fruits, phoenix. If you try to get like find it, and then your first thoughts it should be to store it. If you have it stored, then that's good. For example, if you have like 2 fruits stored, you have found one phoenix, you stored it. You have now found another phoenix. What will you do with it? You will force yourself, I betcha, you will force yourself to eat that fruit. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Because if you do that, you will lose your good ice or light fruit, which is really good for grinding. Then you will end up being stuck with a fruit that is terrible for grinding, and you will think about like, somehow please someone help me to reach C2 or C3 where I can trade this phoenix or stuff. But you cannot. You'll be stuck with that forever. So what you should do is that sacrifice for once, even if you're level 30. Drop that fruit on the floor. Let someone else pick it up and store it. Don't feel like you get scammed, because if you eat it, then you're getting scammed by the developers. They want you to suffer. So anyways, the next point is that ice, light, or Buddha are the best grinding fruit. Don't waste time searching for rare ones. Okay, this is very important. This is one mistake that I did, and I want you guys to know. So like, if you get like ice fruit, right? You get an ice fruit, you get all its abilities, you're grinding with it. Then you find light fruit. And if you're like level 40, level 30, maybe you can eat it if you want to. But if you find like Buddha, you can eat that too. That is really good too, because it requires one. But for example, if you have like all your abilities on light ice, then I don't recommend you switching it unless you are high level and you can get all the abilities in no time, like 400, 500. Then you can switch it. Mastery does matter for lower level people. 600 mastery will give you a boost of 405 extra stats. So that's really good, but I'm sure, pretty sure in C1 no one has it. All you will have is like barely second ability or third ability. Like for this fruit, you won't even be able to reach the fourth dimension unless you have been using this fruit for a while. And don't use this fruit, bro. It's good for mobility and PvP. That's it. Don't use portal whatsoever. Even if you get it, store it. It's not good. It's not even Logia, and won't help you at all. It is good for sword users, but for sword users who are doing player versus player, not sword users who are grinding. Keep that in mind. When someone high level player says that dark is good for sword users, he doesn't mean it in a way that it's good for you to have it and start using stats on swords. That is not good. And for example, I'll tell you one more thing is that if you have ice fruit and you're good to go with it, just start grinding. Don't try to look for light and waste your time in that. Don't try to look for a Buddha to waste your time. It is terrible. At your level is terrible. It will waste a lot of your time. Anyways, the ninth is that this is very important. This is very important for some of you guys. But some of you guys can ignore it completely. Like, you guys are the beast. You're like the grinder at the games. Like, if you're one of those guys who can grind all day and don't even sweat, man, you're something else. You're a beast. But for people like me and some other who are watching, some of our viewers, bro, don't grind all day. Don't make that mistake. Do not do it. If you're like grinding for too many hours straight, you'll burn yourself. Don't burn yourself out trying to get like hit 1,000 levels in one day. Set realistic goals. Like for example, you can set to reach in one day 150 levels. That is very huge jump. Or maybe 300 levels or 250 levels in a day. That's just doable. And then after that, after you hit the goal, then take a break, enjoy the game. Don't let the grind ruin your fun. Understand this, people. Please understand this. If you try to force yourself to grind all day, what this will do is that you will completely lose interest. You will get frustrated. You will have like that feeling when you feel like, bro, this game is so annoying. Like the grinding is very heavy. The grinding will get to you. So don't let it get to you. You will end up quitting the game before you even reach the max level. And after reaching the max level, that is where the fun begins. True fun. Anyways, the 10th and one of the most important mistakes starting off is that avoid hybrid stat when grinding. Focus on specific builds. What do you mean by specific builds? So if you've learned something new, make sure to hit like button and subscribe to my channel. Comment down your thoughts. So anyways, let's get back to the 10th point, which is that specific builds is that when you are grinding, you tend to get like something of a gun. You find yourself a gun. Amazing. You have a rare item which no one else uses for something specific. There is a reason for it. You found a rare sword, a legendary one. Say for example, you found this sword, the sword from this guy, Shanks, his saber. Wow, that's amazing. That's good, but not for grinding. Keep that in mind. Don't waste your time in putting your stats in sword or in gun. These two things should not exist for you guys. Like, keep them red or ban them from your to put your stats in here. Just put there and here and use a fighting style if you are. Like, for example, let me give you some statistics. If you are doing a fighting style main build, like you're using any fighting style, like so for example combat, then put your 50% of your stats into defense and 50% of your stat into melee. By 50%, I mean like if you have 100 stat, put 50 into melee, put 50 into defense. And if you are using Blox fruit, like for example, you're using ice fruit, right? Now, with that, don't be like one of those guys who put all the stats in the fruit. I mean, you can be a glass cannon if that's your playstyle. I don't recommend it though. I do not recommend it. So what you should do is that go 60% on this and then 20% on defense and melee. So by 20% I mean like if you have 100 stat, put 60 in Blox fruit, 20 in melee and 20 in defense. Why would you put in melee when you have a fruit? You're asking yourself that, right? Now this is like a big question and big mistake people make. Like people think that they just need fruit now, or maybe some defense because bosses and some NPCs have hockey. And keep that in mind. Some NPCs and bosses have hockey. That's why you need yourself to have like some health, 20%. So what you will do is that put your stats in melee. That will give you energy. Energy is used for you to use some abilities that you can use. So without them, you won't be able to use your abilities. Like if you have 100 energy, you're level 400, what can you do with it? Use your one move and get out of 100 energy and don't be able to use another move and wait for your energy meter to fill up? No, don't do that. Do not make that mistake. Put 20% of your stats. So until you're able to like use all your abilities and then have like energy left for you to use some of the ability and have like ability to when they get off cooldown and use them again, then you're at the point where you do not need to put your stats into melee. Then start focusing on putting your all stats into Blox fruit and defense. So after that, after you hit that melee requirement where you do not need more energy, then put 33% here and 66% here, which by that I mean like out of 100 put 66 or 67 here and then put 33 or 34 into defense. So that's all the 10 mistake that a lot of you guys make. And so if you are new and starting off, these are the 10 biggest new mistakes in Blox fruit. So guys, turn on the notification so you don't miss out on the next video which I'll do about tips and tricks. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next time. Peace.